The Infinite Lives of Maise Day, Chapter 3. I stare at the pile of envelopes on the kitchen table, my name written across each one. Today is my birthday. I should be opening these cards with Mum, Dad and Lily here, but instead, I'm all alone. The room seems to hum with an ominous silence. Where is everyone? What I saw when I opened the front door was like something out of a nightmare. I look around the kitchen. Beneath the cooker hood, the black and silver hob gleams shinily. No sign of any of the usual spills and spatters from Dad's Sunday morning fry-ups. On either side of this, the worktops stand empty, the plates and mugs all neatly stacked or hanging in place from racks on the wall. The fridge freezer, the microwave, the washing machine, the dishwasher, even the kitchen sink. Everything is exactly where it should be. And through the patio doors that lead out onto the back garden, the plastic sheets covering the gazebo sparkle with dew under the early morning sunshine. But is any of this real? When you're dreaming, you think that what you see and what you hear, what you can feel is real, even though the dream is happening all in your mind. Is this what's happening here? Am I still dreaming? I read that one way you can tell whether you're really awake or still in a dream is to perform a reality check. This can be a simple action that can help you to confirm if what you're experiencing is real. Looking back down, I slide my finger beneath the flap of the lumpy envelope at the top of the pile. Feeling the paper tear as I rip it open, I pull out an outsized birthday card. On the front of the card, there's a picture of a space rocket, zooming through a starry sky, silvery lines linking the constellations as they spell out the message, Happy Birthday. And fixed to the top corner is a birthday badge with a big number 10 printed inside a star. Unfastening the badge from the front of the card, I steel myself, getting ready to perform my own reality check. If this is all a dream, there's only one way to find out. I jab the badge pin into the edge of my thumb. Ouch! Wincing, I watch as a droplet of blood wells from the pinprick. Squeezing the end of my thumb to try and deaden the pain, the droplet falls onto the front of my birthday card, leaving a brand new red planet shining among the stars. This feels pretty real to me. I shake my head. Maybe I just had some kind of temporary blackout before, a glitch in my brain that meant I couldn't process what I was seeing properly when I opened the front door. But I need to make sure. Pocketing the badge, I push my chair back, feeling the cold tiles beneath my feet as I cross the kitchen to reach the patio doors. Gazing through the glass, I can see the flower beds blooming red, yellow, blue, the blossom on the trees framing the green leaves with a powdering of pink. And in the glass, there's a faint reflection of my face, a frightened look in my eyes as I stare out on this perfect scene. I know the only reason I can see any of this is because of the sun that's shining down. The green grass, the pink blossom, the sparkle of the plastic sheeting thrown over the gazebo. Everything that I can see is the result of photons of light reflecting off these things and travelling to hit my eyes. Even the faint reflection of my face is caused by some of these photons hitting my skin and bouncing back to hit the glass. Without the sun, I wouldn't be able to see any of this. But a shiver runs down my spine as I remember that infinite blackness I saw when I opened the front door. Scientists don't accept the result of an experiment until the experiment has been repeated and gives the same result. If you repeat the experiment and get a different result, then you know something's wrong. I want to find out if the sun is really shining through the glass. I'm going to have to open the patio door. My throat feels dry as I reach down to turn the key in the lock. This is ridiculous. All the evidence from my eyes is telling me that all I'll find waiting outside is the back garden, same as it always is. But I can't stop my fingers from trembling as I take hold of the door handle, a faint smear of blood now visible on my thumb. Right, it's time to find out what's real. Turning the handle, I push open the door. Even though my mind is half expecting it, this doesn't stop the sight I can see from hitting me like a punch in the face. There's no sun shining down on our back garden. No green grass, no blooming flowers, no pink blossom in the tree. No back garden, just an empty black space that begins at the doorstep and stretches into infinity in every direction that I look. My fingers tighten around the door handle, every instinct inside screaming at me to slam the door shut. But I resist. I've got to make sense of this. It's as though our house has been launched into the depths of space. But what I can see outside the back door isn't a starry sky like the one on the front of my birthday card. This is an empty universe, not a single star in the sky. Swaying slightly, I cling onto the handle, feeling as though I could just float out into this infinite blackness. There's this stuff called Vantablack, which is the darkest material ever invented. Scientists make it out of carbon nanotubes, teeny tiny tubes of carbon, thousands of times thinner than even a human hair, which are woven together. If you shine a light at something that's made out of Vantablack, the light just gets lost in this forest of nanotubes, so all you see is empty black space where the object should be. And it's not just black, it's super black. This is what it looks like outside. Still clinging tightly to the door handle, I reach out with my free hand, pushing it against the darkness. There's no resistance, no change in temperature as my hand moves from inside to out. But as I push against the darkness, I can't help feeling scared that the darkness will push back. I crouch down, bracing myself against the doorframe as I lean forward. I need to see how far this blackness goes. There might be no world outside, but can I even see where it might have gone? My stomach lurches as I crane my neck in every direction, desperately searching for any sign of life in this infinite blackness. But that's all I can see. Darkness. Everywhere. Shaking, I haul myself back from the edge, my bare feet slipping against the black and white tiles as I retreat from the door. If you can successfully repeat an experiment, then the evidence supporting it grows. This is real. Outside my house, there's an empty void, and I don't know if Mum, Dad and Lily are ever coming home. As I stare out into the infinite blackness, the shape of the doorframe seems to blur. I rub my eyes, thinking that maybe the signals from the optic nerves to my brain are getting confused by this super blackness. That's what happens if you stare at Vantablack for too long. With so little light reflected, your brain can't figure out what you're looking at. All the surface details disappear. A crumpled up piece of paper looks completely flat when it's coated in Vantablack. But then I realise that the doorframe isn't blurred. There are black blobs floating around in it. The darkness is coming inside. Frozen, I stare as these blobs hover on the threshold. I can only see the ones that are silhouetted against the white doorframe, flat discs of absolute blackness that seem to slowly pulsate as they float. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. More of them keep coming, invisible against the darkness of the abyss until the moment they float inside and are framed against the white UPVC of the patio doors. The intensity of the blackness hurts my eyes. It's like a nothing space, a complete absence of any light. I can't even seem to focus on the blob-like shapes, as some of these hover above the shoe rack that's standing next to the patio doors. On this, Dad's big black wellies look almost muddy brown in contrast. Then, the closest blob touches the top of a boot. And I watch, horrified, as an impossible blackness spreads across the surface of Dad's welly. I can see it transforming in front of my eyes, changing from a real thing that I can see into a flat, two-dimensional shape. Its darkness hurts my eyes. There's no light reflecting back, just an empty black space where Dad's welly used to be. And the black blob grows larger, almost shivering with pleasure as it floats forward again. Still crouching down, I feel my stomach flip, and I choke back a mouthful of sick as more of these blobs flood through the open door. I watch the white UPVC frame slowly eaten away until only darkness remains. And as the blobs touch the black and white kitchen tiles, each of these is transformed into a square of absolute blackness, the emptiness advancing across the room in a relentless tide. The outside is coming in and erasing everything it finds. It's like this nature program I watched on TV once that showed how mould spreads. They set up loads of time-lapse cameras in an abandoned house, and these recorded how a tiny spore of black mould in the bathroom grew into a black tide of fungus that slowly took over the entire house. I stare in horror as these blobs of absolute blackness spread across the kitchen, the darkness shape-shifting as it devours everything it touches. This seems like a nightmare, but the bitter taste of sick in my mouth tells me it's real. I've got to get out of here. Scrambling backwards, I turned towards the kitchen door, and that's when things started to get really weird. Ahead of me, I can see the door that leads to the hall, still closed from when I slammed it shut. But this picture seems stretched, as though I'm looking at it through the wrong end of a telescope. Our kitchen isn't that big, but the door seems to be getting smaller and smaller with every second that passes as it recedes into the distance. I shake my head, my brain unable to process the information it's receiving. One time, when I was little, I got an infection in my inner ear and had to stay in bed for a week. I felt sick and dizzy all the time and couldn't even stand up without falling down. It was like everything was spinning and moving around even when I was completely still. Eventually the infection went away, but I'll never forget how strange it made me feel, because it's how I feel right now. I watched the black and white squares tiling the kitchen floor seem to stretch to the horizon. I glance back over my shoulder, a fresh wave of nausea welling in my throat as I see what's behind me. Everything's gone. It's like the kitchen is being peeled inside out. The walls, the floor and the ceiling disappearing until only darkness remains. And it's speeding up. The voice inside my head is screaming now, telling me I've got to get out of here. Turning back towards the door, I try to scramble to my feet, but find I can barely even lift my head as the force of gravity pushing me down suddenly intensifies. Twisting my neck, I see the spotlights in the ceiling overhead stretch into arrows of light as the room keeps expanding. Nothing makes any sense. I try and drag myself forward, the floor tiles beneath my fingers almost scorching to the touch. Sweat slicks my forehead. I can feel it running down my face, stinging as it mingles with my tears. I open my mouth to shout for Mum and Dad, but no sound comes out. Just an empty howl of silence. Falling from my pocket, I watch my birthday badge skitter across the floor. For a second, it's close enough to touch, but as my fingers start to close around it, the badge fades into the distance. Everything's accelerating, the room around me turning into a universe. When our universe was born in the Big Bang, scientists think it started out as a tiny seed, a bubble of space-time, a trillion times smaller than a grain of sand, seething with all the energy and matter that would eventually create everything in the universe. When the Big Bang happened, this tiny bubble suddenly got very big, very fast. In less than a second, it grew from the size of a subatomic particle to a space thousands of millions of miles across. And since then, it's just kept on expanding. But as I watch the kitchen door dwindle into infinity, it seems like the kitchen is exploding even faster than this. My head's spinning. I don't know why any of this is happening. Today was meant to be the best day ever, but reality has turned into a nightmare. Some scientists think that reality is everything that would still be here, even if there was nobody around to experience it. I don't know where Mum, Dad and Lily have gone. The only person left now is me. If I close my eyes, will this nightmare be over? Snatching a fearful glance behind me, I see an absolute blackness lapping at my heels. I'm dangling on the edge of infinity, and if this darkness touches me, I know that I'll be gone. With a last desperate lunge, I fling myself forward, closing my eyes as I reach for the handle of a door that's half a universe away. And then I turn it.